Hey guys, what's up? It's time to talk about Dota once again, and today I want to talk about reshuffles and all the teams in the three different scenes in the world, which is North America, or just, America, Europe, and Asia. So we got Western and Eastern. Not really, it's more like, it's not Western, Eastern anymore, it's East, and then Europe, and Middle, and West. Okay, we got West, Middle, and East. Good? Good. We're good. Okay, so the Eastern scene is going through a reshuffle. The NA scene doesn't really exist. I don't know. They don't. They're really all kinds of teams are forming and banding and there's a lot of confusion there. And what I wanted to say at least a couple of weeks ago is that Europe doesn't even care. Currently, they are the powerhouses. Europe is the strongest continent in terms of Dota. I mean, we've got the strongest teams in the world there. Right now, the Fanatics, the Navis, the Alliances, I could go on, but they're the strongest there are right now in the world, pretty much undoubtedly. And they are doing better than the Chinese, than the Eastern scene's greats. They're doing better. And I wanted to say that there's no reshuffles and nothing happening. And it remains pretty much true. But there has been a couple of new teams coming up, such as the Cloud9 one, and there's a lot of players still floating around. There's MYM now starting up, which is really great. It's old players returning in new formations. But the main teams, the strongest teams in the world, are very much just, they stick together. And they're staying exactly the same for quite a while. DK, as an example, in the Eastern scene, is also the same. It's not going to change because they're the most insane team in the world. I actually think that DK, and I'm looking at them right now because I'm looking at all kinds of changes. DK are so good. DK are so good. Oh my god. I cannot wait for TI4 because I want to see DK versus Navi Alliance and Fnatic. That's my top 4 currently in the world, and that's what I want to see. And it only has one Eastern team, which is rather odd. But they are all kind of in a state of reshuffle. That's why there is the great Chinese reshuffle once again. And you got all those teams like Tongfu and LGD and Invictus Gaming switching up a little bit here and there. There's a lot of rumors. Not a lot of things are actually locked in. But there are changes being made. And that's it shows that Europe is the strongest. And this is really cool to me because I also come from, I've been following Dota for a very, very, very long time. And I've also, I've done a lot of StarCraft in the past. And StarCraft, we have Korean domination 100% of the time. Koreans are at the top of the world. And it's so funny. In StarCraft, in case you don't know, it's actually called Koreans and foreigners. Okay? Foreigners is the rest of the world for the StarCraft scene. It's when you come from outside, it's kind of what? That's so odd to have Koreans as the main people who play StarCraft and then foreigners to anyone else. It's blows my mind when I think about it from an outside perspective, but that's just how it is. The Koreans are the best. In Dota, it really used to be China. Europe was always strong, NA was always strong, but Chinese Eastern Dota destroyed everything. They were the strongest in most cases. Even when I'm talking about, even when MYM were dominating the scene and stuff like that, it was always pretty much Chinese being stronger than anyone else. And it's kind of cool that Europe these days is the dominant force, the dominant scene in terms of Dota. It's interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens because remember, we are about 6 months, half a year from TI4. And invites usually go out about 4 or 3 months before. That means that whatever shuffle we're going to have in the next month or two, whatever teams form, those are the teams. They will not risk changing those before TI4 actually happens. If you want to get into TI4, you need to lock down your team right now and start working hard and practicing and not changing the roster because you're not allowed to change the roster, at least as far as we know, according to previous years. So this is really interesting to look at. again, the top teams will not change, but are looking. I mean, there's a ton of talent, and we want to look at just below the top teams because they could go into the top teams in top teams at any time. In the next 6 months, anything could happen. So we want to see who are these teams that will have a shot at doing really, really well at TI4 that are forming right now, okay? Because other than the top teams, everything's changing. Nothing is sacred. Everything is up for grabs. So this is pretty interesting times in the Dota scene. I'm enjoying it. I'm just reading up a lot of articles. I'm not watching a lot of Dota lately. I just don't watch a lot of Dota. I also don't play a lot of Dota because I'm busy with other stuff, and I also got a couple of other games that I'm trying out to play. Nothing that will ever replace Dota. I always go back to Dota, but I play a little bit less and I watch a little bit less. This is interesting, though. I want to see what happens here. And that's it. That's my thoughts for Dota this week. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you guys next time.